is sticking with his female coach. There must be something that up to 2016.
Well, if you look at this week, we've been seeing a lot of people splitting with their coach.
Yeah.
Actually splitted with his coach. And also Hita Watson just recently had to, part ways with her coach as well. And they're bringing in new people just to fortify, the technical crew and also to see how they can, better off their tennis next season. So for Andy Murray, yes, perhaps he has seen something we are not seeing in Amelie Mauresmo, and she's former French, world #1, winning Grand Slam here and there, and she's definitely going to add that, bit of stability to his tennis, because Murray for me has been quite inconsistent this year.
Okay, which is still here with us, and which is not a good one. Michel Platini. We're waiting to hear him talk at the ethics committee hearing, but the guy says he's not ready and he didn't turn up.
Well, after what happened to him in CAS, he went to CAS, to get his 90-day ban on
Oh my God, and then he lost it.
CAS said the FIFA ethics committee did the right thing, though they didn't concede to the ethics committee. That's in the bid to extend the 90-day ban, to add more 45 days. But his lawyers are saying that though they lost the battle, they didn't lose the war, and they will continue pressing, to ensure that this guy gets his name cleared. And surprisingly, UEFA is standing by him. They're saying they want him, to clear his name. That everything that should be done very fair. The investigation should be very fair, and by next week, he's likely to face the ethics committee. Okay,
because that's why everyone is waiting to actually know his own side of the story, and about what this boycotting is doing now. Begin to
he just wants to get himself cleared ahead of the elections February next year, because he knows if he's not cleared, he will definitely not.
Then go meet the ethics committee now. Just give your own side of the story. That's what they're saying. If they invite for a hearing, you just go for it. But if you have the elections in mind and you're giving people reasons to keep looking at you, then it's not good for Platini.
In the first place, he had the option, of demanding to appear before the committee. He refused. He went to CAF, probably thinking that they're probably thinking that he would get favorable judgment, and he didn't. Now he's bound to face the committee and state his own side of the story.
That's it. That's why everybody is waiting for Michel Platini. We'll keep an eye on all that's going on in FIFA. We need to know what's really going on before that big election next year. Let's leave that now and go into proper football. In the field, Pep Guardiola is done so well for himself. Right now, he's the coach of Bayern Munich, and then Julian, it seems, is going to be leaving.
Well, he's in the final year of his contract, signed a 3-year deal with Bayern Munich when he left Barca, went on a 1-year sabbatical. Yes, he has not done well in Europe. I mean, the last 2 years, he has been disastrous in the semi-final of the Champions League. 2 seasons ago, he lost 5-0 inaugural to Real Madrid. Last season, he lost to Barcelona. And this season is looking to make a statement at least. What a way to sign out. If he can finally give Bayern, that Champions League, because the last time they won was in 2013. So I think for Pep Guardiola, he's a big manager. Every big club out there in Europe wants to get inside. On top of the list is Manchester United, though, because when you talk about global football, United are one of the biggest brands. So he has also muted the idea of, if I want to come to England, United would be my preferred destination.
But he also mentioned City.
He also mentioned City. I mean, there's a bit of nexus between Pep Guardiola and the Sporting.
But he's definitely in love with Manchester.
Of course, it's definitely going to be one of the two. Certainly not Chelsea. So it's one of City or United at the end of the day.
And it's Julian that actually brought Chelsea into the conversation. And so let's talk about Chelsea Football Club of England. You know the story. Chelsea is struggling at the moment. 15 points from 16 English Premier League games. Whoever thought that Jose Mourinho and his team will be struggling? We'll be trying to understand what's going on. Could it be psychological? Is it because they sent away Eva Canero? Sex Fabregas says, players, we are the problem.
Yeah, they've lost 9 games. I think Jose Mourinho pressed the panic button too early. The first game of the season, you're already having issues with the medical crew. And Fabregas said that they have big players and the players must justify their status as big players. But I think it's much more than that. Perhaps Jose has lost the dressing room and the magic has decided him. And I just feel that he should just, for the sake of the club, he should move on.
Yeah, there's a serious meeting going on as we speak. And Julia, you think these are end times for Jose Mourinho at Stamford Bridge?
I think one thing keeping Mourinho right now in Chelsea is the fans. Mourinho has been able to, keep that close close contact between himself and also the fans as well. They all love him, owing to what he has done for them in the previous, years as well, winning the league for the first time for them in 50 years, considering just 15 goals. But this season, I like what Fabregas has said. If you're a big player and you're paid, big
justify your pay.
Justify that pay on the pitch of play, and that's what they've not done. He didn't exonerate himself. I mean, at this stage last season, he had already had 11 assists. This season, he has just 2. Eden Hazard has not scored all season. John Terry, in fact, the entire team is bad. And on Monday, after the loss to Leicester City, Mourinho was the last person to leave the dressing room. So it goes to show that, there are lots of problems between Mourinho and the players. So Lampard also said something as well, that it should be, foolhardy to sack Mourinho right now to bring in a new coach, because if you have not too many time, for the coach to understand the players, except you bring someone who has worked with the team. That's why they're muting the idea of bringing back a Gusidin who won the FA Cups, for them some years. Other than that, bringing in someone new, we are hearing Wandy Ramos, we are hearing all sorts of names. All those people are not familiar with Chelsea, but for me, I feel damage has already been done. Mourinho has already bringing in a new coach, make them qualify for the top 4. So just stick with him, and at least for the
let him just end with what he started. But Mourinho, I don't get it. It seems Mourinho is out of options. You come out of the game against Leicester and you say it seems there are players' betrayal in the team. And then next game, he plays the same players and he has options, but he's not using it.
That is a big issue too. When you have some young players on the bench, you are not using them. You are sticking to the same old players, and each time you complain and blame the players. Exonerating yourself from blame. He started it earlier. Each time he would try, to shift the blame on the players. You, the coach, you also take the blame.
Yeah.
You started it. You pressed like I said, you pressed the panic button early enough. You're having problems with the medical crew. You're having problems.
Second game of the season.
You're having problems with the players. So that is enough to dampen the morale of the team. And he needs to change his ways. I think some of these defeats that humbled him is now very sober in the way he addresses the press.
Whoever from Julian, I know you want to
he has taken a lesson in humility. Sometimes you need to be humbled so that you face the reality of life.
That's it. Oyinwu actually end it with those deep words. That's the proverb. Oyinwu Chiwachiku. Sadly, we've got to go now. Thank you so much, Oyinwu, for coming around.
Thank you so much.
And of course, Julian, I know you want to throw more at Jose. I think Jose has received enough this
hopefully.
season.
Next time I'll be here. I hope Mourinho keeps his job.
That's it. We'll live with that. And of course, to you, wherever you are in the world watching sports tonight on Channels TV, remember, when we leave the studio, we still love talking sports. So keep talking to us on Twitter. We're Channels_sports, and on Facebook, we're Channels-sports. That's the show on behalf of the ever dedicated sports team at Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Austin Okonakwa. We'll be back again tomorrow to talk some more sports. But until then, in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Meet the men and women that make decisions that shape our world. The intrigues and politics that play out when participants come to the negotiating table. Some bring joy and some bring tears, especially when the unforeseen comes into play. And sometimes everything just falls apart and the drum bells of war resound. All these stories and more, some heart-wrenching,